Okay, gang. We're back with our tiny amp, our little Epiphone Valve Jr. And in a this is a Lipoline cabinet over here, which is Todd's cabinet, and he tells me it's like that, like 128 ply Baltic birch ply. Actually, it's something more like 12 or 15 ply, but nice, good quality cabinet, and it's got a Celestion Vintage 30 in it. Oh, and by the way, this Vintage 30 that we've been using for our comparisons, I have found out is not one of the modern made-in-China Vintage 30s. This actually is a classic Vintage 30 before they were making them in China. So, and over here in my Burress cabinet, I have the WGS Veteran 30. As the phone rings in the background, it'll quit ringing, right, Todd? And by the way, we are back at Todd Tilleman's Anything Audio, and I always got to give a shout out to him and thank him for giving me a nice place to shoot. And I'm playing one of Todd's guitars. If you wanna come and play a lot of different stuff, he's got it here. And you can demo a lot of different things, and hopefully buy a half a dozen Les Pauls and a couple of Marshall stacks while you're here. At any rate, we're going to go ahead and do, again, that classic AC/DC thing that I've been doing seems to work pretty good with the no reverb, one knob Valve Jr. And we're going to start out with the Celestion Vintage 30. Over to the WGS Veteran 30. Okay, well, the difference there, once again, is that the Vintage 30 is definitely a little bit bitier sounding, and the Veteran 30 is a little smoother on the top end. Whether you like that or not is kind of up to you. Let's see, I'll do a couple other things here, too. Let's do like that. That is the Vintage 30. Vintage 30. Over to the WGS Vet 30. That's the Warehouse. The Celestion. Over to the Warehouse. Back to the Celestion. Okay, well, I got to tell you, again, your taste may vary, but for me, I am much more inspired by the feeling of the WGS. It is in a slightly bigger cabinet, and that might be giving it a bit of an advantage on the bottom end, but overall, it does just sound a lot bigger and warmer on the bottom end, and it just... sounds more articulate on the top end. On those open AC/DC chords, the Vintage 30 was pretty darn cool, really tight and focused sounding, real neat. But overall, I'm going to say I like the Veteran 30 better. I'm going to try one thing here. Take the volume way back on our little amp and actually do just a few cleaner tones to see what we get out of all that. Let's see what we get here. Okay, as clean as a Valve Jr. can get anyway. Okay, that is the Vintage 30 Celestion. I'm going to try for even more cleanness here if we can get it. Celestion. And how about a little... Okay. Well, definitely the Celestion has a little more barky. What do you want to hear? Yeah, Todd says try a little just neck. That by the way was a combination of neck and bridge with the volume kind of rolled back a little bit. Go for the jazz, the big jazz sound. Anyway, I started to say too, the Celestion Vintage 30 is definitely a little sort of barkier sounding, and the WGS Vet 30 is definitely a little more full rangey sounding. Sure, we'll try a little just neck pickup here. That's a Vintage 30. And now we'll switch over to the WGS. WGS. Vintage 30. Back over to the WGS. They both sound pretty nice there, but the WGS, again, with its little bit more brightness on the top and with its little bit more balls on the bottom, kind of sounds a little bit better. The Vintage 30 is just a little bit too focused for that kind of stuff. Again, the Vintage 30 is kind of a one-trick pony, man. I mean, it is like AC/DC classic rock, and do one thing and do it well. The Vet 30 does that one thing, does it pretty well too, but you can actually spread out and do a little bit more with it. So I'd say that's the end of this test, and actually next I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to do a different tiny amp. I'm going to go with the Vox Night Train, the Vox Little Night Train, which is also about 5 watts, isn't it, Todd? Yeah. Oh, 2 watts. Okay, we're way down here. The little Night Train is going to be a 2-watt amp, which, by the way, I've played through, and I think it really sounds great. And the first cabinet we're going to play it through will be a Vox cabinet with an actual Celestion greenback in it. That would be sort of the upgrade cabinet that you could buy from Vox to go with that. That's actually the cabinet that comes with the Vox bigger night train. And we'll compare that to the WGS Reaper, which is sort of a green beret or a greenback style with just a little bit extra balls to it. And that's what's coming up next, so stick around. And now I hit the button that says goodbye.